Hey everybody, Marcus Williams here. So, boy, have we got a lot of stuff going on in the world today. But I'd like to talk about a couple of things very specific to New York State and Rochester, New York tonight. So, the first thing is, as you know, in New York State, we have bail reform, also known as cashless bail. And it has been a very serious detriment and caused a massive increase in crime. We also have another law that works in tandem with bail reform, which is called Raise the Age, which makes it so that anybody under 18, no matter how grievous or horrendous the crime is, no matter how many times they've done a crime, they can continuously get out over and over and over again. And once they get a court, their whole record is erased, expunged. So it's really, really bad. So even if they already had a record per se, you couldn't even really tell that they had committed a crime. But I digress. So let's jump right into it. That's one of the major things that we're going to talk about. I'm part of a group. It's called Rock Unite, and we work to. It's a nonpartisan group, and we work to push to hold elected officials accountable for all different types of laws and policies that are adversely affecting and impacting the community. And I encourage you to go check out the website, rockunite.com. That's ROCUNITE.com. And go there and sign up if you're interested in holding elected officials accountable, especially when it comes to the matter of criminal justice reform or whatever that means or appears to mean in relation to the rising crime in our community, in our city, and in New York State, because it's absolutely out of control. So we've been pushing over the last 2, 3 months to get some serious action taken on amending bail reform and raise the age. Our group has gone to many offices in the surrounding area. We've gone to two different assembly people, and we've gone to one of the senators. Now, we've been pushing emails, letters, stuff like that to attempt to get people that are in these elected positions on the state level, i.e., the state assembly and the state senate, who are the people who can change and amend the laws in the state. We put together a 10-point plan that we'd like to be addressed, each of those different options. And you can check that out again on the rockunite.com, ROCUNITE.com. But here's the thing. Yes, just today, and today is Thursday, November 20, excuse me, oof, November, I'm going to the future, you guys, October 19th. Just today, specifically my state senator, Jeremy Cooney, proposed a bill to make some adjustments to some of those laws. Now, let me tell you what these are. Now, he's put forth a bit of legislation. It is uh, it is Senate Bill S71. Oh my word! I wish I knew it off the top of my head, but I seem to not be able to recall it at this time. I'm gonna find it out before we get off of here, and I'll let you know what it is. But anyway, so he put forth a bill today, and basically what the bill said is that anybody that could possibly, it's New York State Senate Bill S7715. That's New York State Senate Bill S7715. You can go look that up. So anyway, in that bill, basically what it is allegedly the way he framed it in his marketing of it is to make it so these people that are out here stealing all these cars can actually be held for the crime, right? But it effectively does more than that, which is actually really good. So it does basically, this is what it does. I'm giving you the synopsis, not the in depth, because it's a lot of legalese and very interesting wording in there. And I'm not a fan of all of the wording. I think some of it is lax, but I think the general principle is there, and we got to go forward with what we got. And it's a starting point. And it's really, really positive that we even to get this far. So basically, it says this: if you are a person who has either been released from jail on your own recognizance, or if you're out on an appearance ticket and you are caught with stolen property in the first, second, third, or I believe fourth degree, or you are caught with an illegal firearm, same circumstance, or if you're caught selling an illegal firearm, then they have the potential to possibly hold you if they can show reasonable likelihood that you are the perpetrator of the original offense and that the crime that you have committed is part of, how can I say it, because it's worded very weirdly, um, continued criminal activity. So that's really, really interesting. Um, Now I do say possible and probably and stuff like that because that's basically how it's worded, and we know that this is gonna boil down to how the judges take it and how the case is presented by the, DAs or whoever is presenting the case against the criminals or potential criminals, alleged criminals, right? But the fact of the matter is this: this addresses one of the major, major issues that we wanted to see addressed in Rock Unite. So that was holding these people who continue to do reoffenses over and over and over again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12 times. And you'll be like, Marcus, you're being hyperbolic. You're over exaggerating. No, no, I'm not. There was somebody in New York City that murdered somebody last year that got arrested like 27 times in like one day or something. It was ridiculous. It was absolutely abhorrent. And they got re-released and I'm killing somebody. So, but that just goes to show very serious issues in the legislation and the laws that are out there right now in New York State, specifically pertaining to raise the age laws and bill reform. So this was presented by Senator Jeremy Cooney, who is a Democrat. Now, if you're not familiar with New York State is run by Democrats. They have a supermajority, and they also have um, the governorship. Kathy Hochul is our governor. Now, that being said, many people that are not Democrat or they're Republican or they're independent or non-affiliated, they really don't like what's going on in the state or whatever the case is. But here's the deal: when somebody is elected to office, especially a state level office, not only do they represent the people that voted for them, not only do they represent the constituents in their areas, but they also represent everybody in the state as a whole. I'm going to say that again because it's so important. If they are a state level elected official, they represent everybody in the state as a whole because they're not passing legislation just for downstate if they're in downstate, if they're in the city. You know, they're not just passing it for upstate if they're upstate. They're not just passing it for Western New York if they're in Buffalo. You know what I'm saying? So they represent all of us because their laws are going to affect all of us. Drink water. Stay hydrated. But back as I was saying, you know, we've got many elected officials that are like, oh, well, you're not my constituents, or I don't care about you because you're not where I am, or whatever the case is. First of all, that is a very poor philosophy because you're making laws for the whole state, you know. But more than that, we have a serious issue with people, and I'm going to talk about that right now, and I'm going to get real serious with you guys for a second. Our issue in New York State is less that we have people that are in office that are the problem, and more so that we have people that are pissed off about the laws that have been put into existence and they refuse to hold elected officials accountable. They're more ready to go online and pitch a fit. I encourage you, if you're ready to go online and pitch a fit about the crime, about the violence, about bail reform, or about raise the age laws, go to rockunite.com and sign up so you can pitch in to do duty to help us hold elected officials accountable. That's ROCUNITE.com. Because the fact of the matter is, if you sit online and you just pitch a fit online, nothing's going to get done. Rock Unite, our group, actually was able to encourage Senator Jeremy Cooney to propose a piece of legislation in relation to the serious issues that are impacting our city, county, and state. But we need more help. We need more assistance from you guys out there that are pissed off about the way and direction our state is going so that we can hold elected officials accountable. It just can't be me, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 other people. It's got to be everybody from across the state starting to come together so we can hold these elected officials accountable. But what's more than this is Mr. Jeremy Cooney put this legislation forth, right? Now we have to get it passed. We have to actually get it passed. Otherwise, it's just words on paper. It's nice that it's presented, but we have to get it passed now. Now the real work goes in. Now we have to advocate for this bill. You know, it's not perfect, but we have to advocate and make the moves that we to hold other state senators accountable to get them to sign on to this bill. We have to hold other representatives in the state assembly accountable to get them to sign on to this bill, not particularly this bill because it's a Senate bill, but when it goes to the assembly, there has to be a similar bill that is its counterpart in the state assembly. That's how it works in the two-house system for the state government. So this is something we now have to push forward for. And it's miraculous that we were able to encourage him to do this, honestly. And me, myself, I'm a Republican, but our group, Rock Unite, is nonpartisan because crime is an issue that affects all of us, no matter what your party, no matter whether you vote or don't vote, no matter whether you're in poverty or whether you're middle class. It affects all of us. It affects businesses. It affects business owners. It doesn't. Crime right now is going into the nicer neighborhoods, destroying the property of people in where we live. Park Ave is one of our nicer neighborhoods. The Highland area is one of our nicer neighborhoods. Cobb's Hill is one of our nicer neighborhoods. And they're all being besieged by crime, which started out in neighborhoods like mine in the southwest of Rochester, where we could have nipped it in the bud at the time, but people said, no, we don't want to because it's not happening in our nicer neighborhoods. Now, it's a nice neighborhood not too far from where I generally am, which is Cornhill, you know, and I do a lot of stuff in Cornhill. I do my best to pitch in and do stuff over there and stuff like that, and maintain property and stuff over there as well. But the thing is a lot of people over there were like, crime isn't real, it's not a problem. But now it is because there are more break-ins over there. There's more property damage and vandalism going on. And we have to understand that crime is a serious issue. And if we don't address it and nip it in the bud when it first comes up as an issue, it's going to continue to get worse. It's like when a child isn't disciplined at first, they're gonna continue to do more and do more and do more. And that's what we're faced with. So now we've got the opportunity of a senator who's proposed this bill, right? And now we have to work with him to get this bill passed. It's not a perfect bill, but it's a start. And this start is what we need. We need this chance. We need to take advantage of this chance and of this option. I really want to say thank you to Senator Jeremy Cooney because we see that you listen to the voice of what's going on in our community. And a lot of people will say, oh, well, it's an election year next year and he's just doing that for that. Okay, maybe he is. But the fact of the matter is if it's an election next year and he's doing it just so he can get reelected, but it's an important issue to the community, maybe we should use that issue to get the issue in the community addressed. So I see people online right now that are like, oh, well, he's just doing it because he wants to get elected next year. And I'm like, but the concept of the bill is good. and we need to do it, we should be supporting it, and we should commend somebody when they're pushing in a positive direction, and we should condemn somebody when they're pushing in a negative direction. He's doing something right, lift him up for doing something right. When he's doing something wrong, hold him down for doing something wrong. Can we really talk about that? Can we have that level of conversation? It's not about party, it's about the community and what's the issues that are impacting our community. Okay? This is a crime is a very serious issue. And we finally got somebody to stand up and say, hey, here's a bill. I'll help push this bill forward. And now it's up to us as the people to get it carried across the line. But that means we're going to have to get more people to help pitch in and engage. So if you're not signed up already, go to rockunite.com. That's ROCUNITE and pitch in because we're going to have to hold senators all across the state accountable. We're going to have to hold state assembly people all across the state accountable so we can get this change that we so desperately need in New York State. And that's point blank. And hopefully we can set a example right here in upstate New York for the rest of the state of New York and for other places across the nation of how to make sure that you're holding your elected officials accountable. Because the majority of the issues that are facing us in our communities are not one political party issues. They're not Democrat issues. They're not Republican issues. They're not Republican issues. They're not Democrat issues. They're not Green Party issues. They're not this, that, or the third. They're not libertarian issues. They're people issues. They're real community issues. And we have to come together in unity for the community on the issues that we can agree on. And that takes me into the next issue that we're experiencing in Rochester, New York. Now, I don't know how much you guys know about Rochester, but Rochester is the second most funded school district in the nation. I'm going to say that again because it bears repeating. Rochester, New York is the second most funded school district in the nation. We spend about $35,000 per student. Maybe it's a little more. It's our budget right now is approximately $1.6 billion. I'm going to say that again. $1.6 billion. We are the third most funded second most funded this year. Second most funded school district in the nation, right behind, I want to say it's Washington, D.C. or Baltimore. We're always in the top three there. And it's crazy because the school districts that spend the most per student also have the lowest return rates, lowest graduation rates, lowest proficiency rates in the nation. We've got some of the lowest graduation rates and lowest proficiency rates in the nation. Our third graders can't read. That's not hyperbole. Our third graders can't read. They have almost a zero proficiency rate. I want to say it's 10% on a good day. And it's really more like 7%. But nobody wants to talk about that. And somebody will get out there and canoodle me and be like, oh, well, it's not that. It's higher. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because we are graduating people who are functionally illiterate, who are not able to read and are not able to write. You explain to me how that happens. Explain it. For $35,000 a year, we can be sending every single student to Harvard. Are you serious with me right now? They can get a top rate education. They can all go to private school for $35,000 a year. Are you serious right now? But somehow we got the lowest quality of education. Okay. Schools are all nice. They just redid all the schools. The 2024 Modernization Act or 2023 Modernization Act, whatever it is, blah, blah, blah. Made all the schools look all extra nice. Now, tonight, I didn't get a chance to go because it involved other projects. But tonight, they just did a vote to shut down 11 schools and redesignate 5 other schools. 11 schools they're shutting down. But somehow, the budget went from $1 billion to $1.6 billion this year. So we've got less students, which is why they're saying they're shutting down schools, but that's a lie also, but it's also the truth. They've got less students, less teachers, less schools, but more money. You explain that to me and you make that make sense. And it's not just this year, it's every year. This has been a consistent pattern. Then every year there's tens of millions of dollars that are missing. Nobody can tell you where they went. Nobody wants to be held accountable. They always, every couple of years, at least once every 5 years, they send in a state auditor. They audit it. There's always missing money. Nobody can find it. They tell me consistently that nobody's stealing the money, but nobody's just losing millions of dollars. We have to have people hold the school district accountable. So I'm working on getting ready to work with some of the people on the school district to try to see to get some line itemization going with the school budget, but they don't want that because if they did, they'd have to be held accountable. But that's what we need to be doing as a community. I'm not able to do everything myself. So, I mean, shoot, I encourage you. If you guys got Cash App, please hit me up on Cash App so that you can help my endeavors, or reach out to me in email so you can see how you can slide me some donations. My Cash App is $ MW real number one, real digit one. It's right on the screen. But it's hard to make sure that we get through everything that we need in the city. It's a full-time job basically that I'm doing that I'm not getting paid for. And I'm not able to do it because I have to work at the same time and try to provide for my own life. So I'm not even able to maximize that the way that I would really honestly like to. But I'm still out there advocating for the community. I'm still out there pushing for our community. I'm still out there getting stuff done, and people are sitting online and they're pitching a whole fit. I need your assistance. So if you can come out and if you can help out, go to rockunite.com. Okay, ROCUNITE, or restororochester.com if it's easier for you to remember that. Okay, because we got to do more. But if you want to donate to me personally, if you got Cash App, you can do $MW real number one. Okay, because it's important that we get the stuff done that needs to be done. And I'm doing so many things because it needs to be done. Nobody else is doing them. I swear to good golly gosh that I wish that more people were doing them. I really, really, really do. I really, really do. But there aren't enough people that are focused enough to get it done. So I'm doing everything that I can, you guys. I wish that I could do more, but I also have to work at the same time. If I could pull off enough funding to solely do this advocacy work, I'd do just that so that I can continue to help uplift my community and take us in the right direction because I'm not currently in a political office. I'm doing all of this in my spare time, in my free time, doing my best to do what I can for our community, our as a citizen, and our state and our nation, because it's my duty as an American citizen, and I hope that some of you can stand up and assist too. So please, if you can, reach out and drop me some donations. You know what I'm saying? I guess I got to set up other ways to actually get donations too. I really don't usually ask for money or anything, but I need to do more advocacy because we've got all these issues going on, and it just takes a lot of time to get stuff done. But in America, you got to spend money to live, and food and everything else is going up, and I am not able to fight the good fight if I'm got to work full time and try to do this stuff in my free time. But anyway, I digress. Back to the school district. So the school district is getting all this funding, and they're closing the school not too far from here where I am, which is number 2 Clara DeBarton School, which is funny, and it's not funny at the same time. But it's funny because right in that area, it's a high crime area, and one of the key places where they have all of these crazy people stealing all these cars. These criminal terrorists are over in that area all the time. So I got a lot to say about it. But that's one of the schools that they're closing, and a lot of the people from school number 2 came out tonight to actually say, no, keep our school open, whatever the case is, whatever the case is. School looks full to me. I don't know. I see kids going there every day. I don't know what the heck the whole concept of the school district is. But every year we get it where the school district has schools that the state is about to take over. And then they're like, no, we'll just rename the school so that way we can keep it open. And I'm like, what's up with that? Why not fix the quality of the education? But they don't want to do that. And now they're pushing in alphabet agendas and what do you call it? Social activity, what am I talking about, people? You know what it is. Drop it in the comments. Social activism, basically, I'll call it right now. into the schools when these kids are not able to read and write. And we need to refocus on that because what jobs are they supposed to be able to get? You wonder why the crime is so high because education is terrible and they don't see any prospects for them for the future. How could you when you can't read or write and you're graduating high school? How are you supposed to get a job? Now in New York State and in my city, in my county, our county executive has allowed all these illegal aliens in here who are going to be competing with our students that are graduating for all of these basic entry level jobs, and it's going to be a havoc, complete havoc, which doesn't even calculate in all of the issues that we're going to have because of the continued effort to push for AI and not mechanization, automation of different jobs, including you got McDonald's who's putting in automated food processing and burger making and French fries dropping machines. They've already got the what do you call those things? The outside, the drive-through, I guess you would say, the drive-through things where you would take your order. They've already got many of those automated. These are jobs that are being taken away, people, and they're like, "Oh, well, we need to continue to raise the minimum wage." How? How? When the jobs are going away? How? What jobs? How are you going to raise the minimum wage when jobs are going away, which is making prices more expensive, which means that we're going to have to spend more, which means that people are going to have to work more, which means that people are going to work less because companies aren't going to want to spend more money on them when they can just get machines. It's like a self-perpetuating cycle. And with the continued dilapidation of our public education system, it's just, what is it? Self-obsolescence, right? We don't have the people for the jobs because the schools don't train the jobs, so they're giving the jobs to the machines or giving them to illegal aliens. But they're definitely not prioritizing our people. Now, I do have a solution for that. For me, the solution to that would be taking high school and combining it with middle school because they basically teach the same thing anyway. I'm not saying take the students, I'm saying take the course curriculum and put them together. And then what you do for high school is you use high school as a training facility where kids can go and they can interact on different jobs in the first 2 years and they can see what type of jobs they like, what they're good at. And these can all be with companies that are hiring to work and they can get work credit and work funding while they're in school. And then they have a job automatically when they come out of school. This also can work for the trades as well. But we're trying to push everybody to go into college and stuff like that, and people need money now. Y'all tripping. People be in school right now, and they still need money because everything's so expensive. Many of them are out there right now, are the providers for their household right now. So are we really being realistic? When was the last time you went shopping? They want you to be concerned about foreign wars in foreign countries that many that you can't even put on a map. And we got gas prices are out of control. Food prices are out of control. They tell you inflation is 7%. But if you go to the store and you try to buy a bag of rice, rice is up 40, 50% from last year. And that's in 1 year. What's going on? Sugar's up crazy astronomical. You go and you go try to buy some meat. It's up 75% over the last 2, 3 years. It's outrageous. The cost of goods are going up, and our educational quality is going down, but our educational spending is going up. Somebody make it make sense. There must be stability restored. And if it's to be, it's up to me, it's up to you, and everybody else watching. We have to get active. We have to start advocating for what's needed in our city, in our state, and in our nation. Because we, the citizens, if we are not being active, we are not doing our duty, and we are never going to see the changes that we want to see actually happen. You can say whatever you want on the internet. You can pitch, you can bitch a fit, you can do everything that you want to. You can be mad at somebody online, all of this stuff, talking all your junk, but you can't come out when it really counts. You can't donate to the causes when it's really down to getting something done. I need y'all to step up. What they say, put up or shut up. Fact. So many people don't get out and vote. Now I'm talking about something different, but I'm talking about the same thing at the same time. So many people don't get out and vote, and then they bitch and moan about stuff not changing. How? How are you gonna pitch a fit about stuff not changing when you won't even go out and vote? Of course, nothing's gonna change. And then you say, "Well, Marcus, my vote doesn't count because the whole election system is rigged or whatever the case is." Listen, whatever you say, bro, right? Like I got a lot of stuff to say on it, and if you've been following me for a while, you know how I really, really, really feel. Okay. But we're not going to dive deep down into that today. The fact of the matter is if you are very concerned with the election system, that means that you definitely need to get out and vote. That means you need to be the person to get out and vote. 100%. You need to encourage 20, 30, 40, 50 of your friends to get out. Why? Why? Because how many people do you know just like you that are like, "Oh, I don't vote because my vote doesn't count." All of those votes count. I had a friend a couple years ago, he's running for a county ledge, he lost by 30 votes. 30 votes. 30. I know way more than 30 people that say, "I don't vote because my vote doesn't count." Very clearly, your vote does count because 31 votes would have got him a seat. Okay? So this is a very important type of stuff in the conversations that we don't actually have. And there's a lot of people, and I'm sure I'm gonna catch some heat from one of y'all out there. I know who you are. I'm not gonna mention you on here, but you know who you are. Okay, who propagate all this stuff. Oh, the election is terrible. The elections are terrible. The election systems are terrible. Psh, you ain't got to get an argument from me. I live in Rochester, New York, where almost every year Democrats sue each other over the election results. It's history. You can go look it up. There's a court case. If we take it back pre-COVID, almost every single year there are Democrats suing Democrats over the results of elections in Monroe County. That's it. That's the truth. That is a fact. That is a documented fact. So you say what you want about the electoral system. I'm not going to sit here and argue about what's wrong with it, what's good with it, what needs to be improved or not. But I'm going to tell you this, because there's stuff that needs to be improved. But I've done whole videos and stuff on that. But I'll tell you this. If you think that there's an issue with the election system, you need to be the person encouraging more people to get out. Because the more good votes that we have, the less likely it is to get bad results that we don't want. It's that simple. It's that simple. You overwhelm the system with good votes, thereby making it more difficult for errors and other issues to come up and possibly discount a certain limited amount of votes that would change the results in different ways. It's that simple. And I know some of you are gonna be like, "Oh, well, Marcus, why are you talking about that?" Because I don't think you guys understand how many people don't vote. We got like such low turnout this year. It's expected to be like maybe 40%. I think in the county is projected to turn out. I think it's probably gonna be like 35% will end up turning out or something like that. 35 to 37%. But it's they're gonna be like, well, it's like gonna be like 50. I don't think so. But regardless, that's not enough. We need 80, 90% consistently of voter turnout. Honestly, if you're asking me, it needs to be 100%, but that's a whole separate conversation. Um, but yeah, I mean, if we want to see real things get done, we can't just rely on the elections. We have to hold the people in office accountable. I'm gonna say it again because it's so important. It begs repeating. If we want to see a real change in our community, a real change in our society, a real change in our country, you don't just hold elected officials accountable at the voting box. When they get into office, you stay on them so that they are focused on the issues that are affecting and impacting your community. That is how you get true change. That is how you get real things done. How do you think all of these lobbyists get what they want done in Washington and in New York State and Albany? Because they're consistently in there at the people who are in office. Hello? Once they're in office, they represent you, then you really need to be on top of them, holding them accountable. You can't just vote for them and then be like, oh no, they'll do whatever they want now. I don't want them to do whatever they want when they get elected. I want them to do what I want when they get elected. And I don't care what the hell they said out their mouth, whether I voted for them, whether I didn't vote for them. When they get into office, I want them to do what I want them to do because I'm the citizen. They are supposed to be representing me. They aren't supposed to be representing special interests. They're not supposed to be, for me, I'm upstate New York. So they're not supposed to be representing downstate New York. They're supposed to be representing me upstate where I am, right? Because we all know that New York City basically runs the state. But that's because look at how few people up here in upstate New York have any balls. I said what I said. Most of the elected officials up here don't have any balls. So I'm very glad that Jeremy Cooney decided to basically, and you take it for what you want, he basically bucked New York City and said, hey, my people have brought this to me as an issue, and I'm going to do this presentation of this bill to attempt to get it changed or at least look like it. Because once he put that forth, excuse me, once he put that forth, it's our job and our duty to hold the rest of the elected officials accountable and to task so that we can get them to vote for the bill, so it can get passed, so that we can restore some type of sense of sensibility of public safety in our community. And that's not the last bill that we have to stop at. Like I said, we got this issue in city school district right now in the city of Rochester where they're shutting down these schools, but they got more money forever after they just fixed up all the schools, made them look all nice. Now you want to shut them down. We really have to have these conversations because who's going to hold the school board accountable, right? It falls to me to hold the school board accountable. I need more assistance, you guys. If you guys want to pitch in as far as policy goes and holding legislators accountable, go to restororochester.com. That's restororochester.com. Sign up for Rock Unite so that we can hold these officials accountable, so that we can get done what needs to get done in our community, so that we can get done what needs to get done in our state. And hopefully, Lord willing, this goes well enough that we can grow this so it can be a nationwide organization and we can really affect change even on the federal level. Because this is ridiculous. There are some very, very simple issues that all of us have together, no matter what the party is, okay, no matter what our background is, that are serious and real. One of them is crime. The other one is education. Now, if you're in the Monroe County area, if you're in Pittsford, Hilton, Greece, Gates, Irondequoit, you guys have seen the deterioration in your school systems too. Even the better school systems have been on a downside. Not as bad as the city of Rochester. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, the city of Rochester is the worst in the whole country, and that's not me being hyperbolistic. Is that even how you would say that? I don't know. There's another better word for that, but it's not even me taking hyperbole, but it's a real thing. It's a really serious issue, and it needs to be addressed on the state level because the State Board of Education is a piece of garbage. I got way more to say about it, but that's for a whole nother video. But right now, we need to be taking action. We need to be united. We need to be unified, and we need to be pushing for policy change. Policy and legislation is what really needs to be impacted to get us what we need. And that's what a lot of lobbyists know, that get a lot of stuff done that we don't necessarily like. Okay, that's what the war lobbyists do. Okay, that's what the medical industrial complex does. That's what all these people that we say run these big multinational corporations that do not have the best interests of the people are doing. We got to stand up and we got to hold our elected officials accountable, because if we don't unite, nobody's going to get it done. Nothing will change, and it won't ever be right. And with that, I bid you a good night. You guys be blessed, be well, stand up, speak up, and take action. I'll catch you later.